My name's Sue and I'm a guide at Hathaway's Cottage. At the moment I'm standing in the kitchen and I'm going to give you a little bit of information concerning herbs. And these are all common herbs that I'm showing you, placed on the trencher. Herbs which the 16th century housewife would have known and used. Herbs were cultivated by the woman of the household. She would have a herb garden situated quite close to her home, and it was reckoned that a woman would need at least 40 different varieties of herbs. They were used not only for culinary and medicinal purposes, but also for strewing and used for cleansing. The selection that I'm showing you today are all very common, and in fact probably you will have heard of most of them. Now, the most famous, of course, is rosemary. Rosemary has this beautiful aromatic perfume. Rosemary can be used, of course, for culinary purposes, well known for serving with lamb, also excellent with roast potatoes and olive oil. It was also a strewing herb, i.e. used for throwing upon the floors. The floors in these houses usually would be covered with a mixture of straw thrashings and rushes, and strewing herbs were interspersed between these to give a nice odour. And of course many herbs had properties of being excellent insect repellents. Rosemary is one of them. Rosemary was also known as a herb to protect one from catching the plague, and certainly was used in times of plague. Now we come to another very common herb. I think everybody knows sage. And as its name suggests, it is a wise woman who grows sage within her plot, as well as being used again for flavouring. It's fine for the sore throats. Now, what else do we have here? This is rue. Rue is the herb of grace. It is a perfume, what can we say? Some say reminiscent perhaps of cat's pee, but it is apparently an excellent herb for protecting one from the plague, also used in strewing. Mary's gold, the marigold. Again, for culinary purposes, medicinal purposes, and also for dyeing. If you are the clever housewife, when you are preparing your butter, you'll add some marigold petals. It will make it look lovely and golden. You'll get a better price at market. Southernwood. Southernwood. Lads love. Old man. Again, a strewing herb, beloved in the cottage gardens. A strange smell, supposed to have aphrodisiac properties. What about bouncing bet? Bouncing bet? Well, this is soapwort, and this was also known as the fuller's herb, because it was used to wash the fleeces and also for washing finer garments. It produces an interesting lather very reminiscent of a soap, in fact. Tansy, well, tansy's a flavouring, also a strewing herb, again a strange, pungent odour, anti-witch. So there you are, a little selection for you to see. Now in somewhat of a muddle. I mustn't forget St John's wort, the fairy herb. This will cast out demons. This object, which hangs in the kitchen of Anne Hathaway's cottage, looks somewhat like a bed warmer, except that if you look at it more closely, you'll see subtle differences. Oh yes, it's a deep pan. It has this metal handle. It's very light, and there are holes in the lid. You're looking at a fumigator. This was used as an air freshener. Hot wood ash would be placed in the bottom of the pan, and a selection of strong smelling herbs put over this. The herbs that I've mentioned, rosemary, rue, they have this pungent odour. They're very useful in here. The pan would be taken into the room. It would be held side on and swung to and fro. The smoke produced would carry the perfume of the herbs. It would freshen the rooms and mask any of the less agreeable odours. We know that Shakespeare must have seen these used. Maybe he used one himself, because he does talk about fumigators in his plays. Come, let us smoke the rooms before the guests arrive. William's telling us that they are about to use fumigators to freshen their rooms and to make them pleasant. So, that's just a little taster of herbs. And herbs to be found in the garden at Anne Hathaway's cottage. The fumigator also to be found in the kitchen here. Thank you.